Hi guys, welcome back to Block by Milan channel. Today what I am going to discuss about is Stellar. Stellar Network is a distributed blockchain-based ledger and database that facilitates cross-asset transfers of value, including payments. The native digital assets of Stellar is called as Lumens or XLM. Stellar founded in early 2014 by Jet McClap and Joyce Kim. Jet is the co-founder of the Ripple as well as he is the only founder who founded two successful cryptocurrencies until now. Why Stellar is unique than most of the other chains is because it's built on top of a hybrid architecture that contains SQLDB plus decentralized ledger. And the other important advantages in Stellar are transaction fee and the transaction speed. Transaction fees are almost no cost as we can make around 450,000 transactions per dollar, and each transaction will take only 5 seconds to proceed. Due to the low transaction fee and the high speed transaction compared to many other popular chains like Bitcoin and Ethereum, Stellar ideally fit for money transfers, asset exchanges, and ICO developments. Even earlier this year, IBM joined with Stellar to build banking applications. Using Stellar, we can build mobile wallets, banking tools, smart devices that can pay for themselves, and just about anything else you can dream up involving payments. As many of you will now have a question how Stellar making these transactions so fast and how it's possible with mining work, because mining work will take a lot of computation power and time, and that's why Bitcoin and Ethereum will take so much time to proceed each transactions. The answer is there is no mining work involved in Stellar. We can call Stellar as a mining free chain. Before go more depth, let's see what are the famous consensus process and how it works and how it different from Stellar. Most famous and commonly used one is proof of work. It works by using high computation power to solve a mathematical problem. At a time, any number of validators can solve the mathematical problem. We call solving mathematical problem as mining, and if you want to know about mining, please check my previous videos about mining. Next one is proof of stake. Proof of stake works by locking an amount of your wealth as a stake and then doing the validation. It not work based on the computation power but using a wealth. Anyone can participate in the validation process, but the one who locked higher stake will be selected as a validator by the network. And if the validation gone wrong, a portion of his stake will be penalized, and if it's correct, then the amount will be released after a period of time. The next one we call as Byzantine fault tolerance, or we call it as BFT. We can't call this as a decentralized consensus process, as all the nodes who are doing validations need to be approved or selected by a centralized authority. So even if there are thousands or 10,000 nodes doing the validation, still all these nodes need to be approved and validated by a central authority, and that comes more like a centralized than the decentralized one. Stellar using their own consensus called Stellar Consensus Protocol, or called as Federated Byzantine Agreement. Here any of the nodes can do validation and there is no central authority or central party to select or approve these nodes. Each node will form a quorum slice with some other nodes, and same time each node can be in many quorum slices. As you can see in the image, each slice will be overlapped with others, and they agree the validation by agreeing as a slice, and then the information will be passed to other slices. Likewise, Stellar doing the consensus process, and there is no need for a high computation power or high stake. For more information, I will do a separate video about Stellar Consensus Protocol in future. Also, I attached a link of Stellar Consensus Protocol white paper in the video description. Mining used in other chains for two important things. One is to validate the transaction and another one is to create new coins. Stellar using their own consensus protocol to validate the transaction and build the chain. Also, it's used to maintain the consensus. To create new coins, Stellar using mechanism called inflation, and that's the only way to create new coins in Stellar network. At the network genesis, 100 billion lumens were created. To account for both economic growth and the lost lumens, there's a fixed 1% annual rate of new lumen creations. These new lumens will be generated on a weekly basis and distributed via a direct voting method. Stellar architecture consists with main two components. One is Stellar Core and other one is Stellar Horizon. All the nodes in the Stellar network need to have both these components to communicate with the network, and validation nodes need only Stellar Core. Stellar network is a collection of Stellar cores and each maintained by different people or organizations. The security and the reliability maintained by the decentralized nature of network. All the transactions in Stellar will happen through Horizon. It's a RESTful HTTP API server. It allows users to submit transactions, check accounts, and subscribe to events. Simply anyone can communicate using their web browsers because it's just HTTP. Even make the communication and development easier, Stellar contains various of SDKs in all famous languages. Stellar Core is the backbone of the Stellar network. Each Horizon server will connect to the Stellar Core. Stellar Core is the part that doing the massive amount of work to process and validate and agreeing with other nodes for each transactions, as well as creating new blocks. As mentioned before, Stellar having a hybrid storage architecture where data will be stored in a ledger as well as a SQL DB. Stellar Core has a SQL DB that consists of all the necessary tables that are needed to run a Stellar network. Each transaction data, history of transaction, transaction fee, and all the modifications will be added to the table. For an example, if there is an account creation happens, it will be recorded in the account table. This process makes the things easy and efficient when a new node joins or a node sync after a period of time. A ledger represents the state of the Stellar universe at a given point of time. Ledger will contain all the current transaction details that happens recently. The first ledger created in the history called as Genesis ledger. We can relate as same as the Genesis block. Approximately each ledger will be closed in 5 seconds, and then the next ledger will be opened by the ledger manager. Each closed ledger will contains the closed timestamps. Each ledger will have a hash value of the stored transactions and a unique sequence numbers to identify the ledger. Each ledger will be linked to a previous ledger by referencing the hash. Each ledger will have a ledger header and the ledger entry. Ledger header contains transaction set hash, bucket list hash, previous ledger hash, close time, and the transaction set result hash. The large set of ledger entries redundantly storing in a secondary structure called bucket list to efficiently calculate a cryptographic hash of the entire set, and efficiently transmitting a minimal delta of changes to the set when a peer is out of sync with the current ledger state that needs to be catch up. Stellar DEX is called as Stellar Decentralized Exchange. This is another main feature in Stellar, and using this anyone can create assets and exchange with others in a secure and fast process using blockchain. Stellar DEX is more like a decentralized version of exchange where anyone can buy orders, sell orders, and order match. Stellar storing and managing these transactions and exchanges using an order book. It's a record of outstanding orders on the Stellar network. This record sits between two assets. Nowadays, many people creating their own assets in Stellar and trading their assets with others' assets. It's more like trading the meat with a fish straight away without using a money. This will move money as a separate asset, and if you want to trade meat with a fish, then you don't need to have a centralized thing called money. So you can straight away trade meat with a fish. I'll explain more about Stellar DEX and how it works in my future videos. Stellar not having Turing machine similar like Ethereum, so it cannot compute whatever we insert, but still can do a smart contracts that are controlled by transaction sequence number and trusted parties. Two people can write a contract to transfer something based on some set of conditions and execute it between them by using a signed authorizations. And even more advanced, Stellar introduced time-bound transactions where once we created a contract and until the specified date, no one can execute the transactions. And Stellar also having a special feature called multi-signatures that can be used multiple signatures to approve one single transaction. As we can't write any smart contracts straight away in Stellar, we can use their predefined operations to build the smart contracts. We can use create account to create the accounts, and we can use payment operations to make payments. And path payment and manage offers will be needed when we are dealing with Stellar DEX. Likewise, we can use set options to make the multi-signatures, and we can use manage data to store the data. These operations are more than enough to make any payment-based applications or exchanges using blockchain in a secure manner. And also, Stellar is not restricted only to financial applications. We can use these operations to build many decentralized solutions for other industries as well. So thank you guys for watching this video, and please shoot out your questions in the comment sections. And if you like this video, please hit like button and please subscribe for future videos. Thank you.